Lengthy quote here from Bob Arum. He is absolutely laying in to Sky Sports. He says what they are doing in the UK is an absolute disgrace. Now, he's been laying into Eddie Hearn for a long time, despite the fact that him and Eddie do a lot of business together. That's Bob Arum's way. He wants to get into the minds of the fans and diminish the competition, or at least the public's perception of the competition, and therefore big himself up in the process. So anyway, let me give you some quotes here. He said, quote, ESPN are really supporters of the sport, and they don't just use the sport, they support it, and they are and they are giving us the wherewithal to put this event on. Unlike what happens in the UK, where you have one outfit like Sky Sports, which just money grabs and puts everything on pay-per-view, I see BT Sport has stepped up to the plate, and they are giving their subscribers, without extra money, Dubois and Joyce, which is an excellent heavyweight fight. Any fight that Eddie Hearn does, whether it's a major fight or a minor fight, they put on pay-per-view because Sky Sports is only apparently interested in a money grab. Soak the boxing fans for whatever they can. These networks have to understand how people are hurting, how many people in this country and the UK are out of work. I think it's really immoral to require people to spend money watching their favorite sport every week, every other week. What Sky Sports is doing in the UK is an absolute disgrace. I don't care if they never buy a fight from me. What they are doing now is a disgrace. I like Eddie, as in Eddie Hearn. If Sky won't give him money to do significant fights, he has no other choice but to do it on pay-per-view. I'm sure if Sky really supported boxing, put up money to see some of these fights, which are good fights, but are not pay-per-view quality, like Usyk and Chisora. That's a good fight, but it's not a pay-per-view fight. Why the hell isn't Sky buying that fight to show to their subscribers without soaking them for 25 quid? It's wrong. There is a point at time, particularly now, with what everyone's going through, that these networks have to understand that there is a time for them to give back. That is what ESPN has done. That is why everybody in America can watch Lomachenko Lopez without spending 5 cents. And that's all credit to ESPN. They are doing it not just for this fight, but for the rest of the year, end quote. All right, those are the words of Bob Arum. Now, Bob Arum, as with just about every other promoter out there, is an opportunist. He sees an opportunity to have a go at the competition and big up not only himself and his promotional company, but the network that he is contracted to work with, ESPN. And of course, he is working now with BT Sport in the UK as well, with his, I guess you could call him, promotional partner, Frank Warren, and his stable of fighters. So, yeah, if Bob Arum was working with Sky still, and he had some kind of agreement with them, do you really think he'd be coming out criticizing them? He'd probably be coming out criticizing BT. That's just how boxing promoters are. I'm not saying Bob Arum is the only one who does this, but he's one of the people who does it to the greatest extreme, where he really goes to town on criticizing the competition and says some, really, really out there stuff in terms of how extreme his criticism is. So, look, Bob Arum has been involved in networks or with networks that have absolutely fleeced boxing fans for many, many years. And he didn't come out and say anything then. But now, again, he has the opportunity to have a go at Sky Sports, a company that he doesn't have. And by the way, Sky Sports had the opportunity to, I think, pick up, was it Lomachenko Lopez or some other ESPN fights, and they chose not to. And Bob Arum was very angry about that. He obviously wanted to get some of that UK money and was looking to, I believe that they were looking to try and put that fight on in the UK as a pay-per-view. Now, what is pay-per-view worthy is simply based upon what the fans are willing to pay for. If the fans are not willing to pay for it in good numbers, then it's not pay-per-view worthy. It's as simple as that. It's like when I've used this example before, when Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather, was it a top-level boxing match? No, it wasn't. But was it pay-per-view worthy? Yes, it was. Why? Because Conor McGregor is wildly popular in MMA and just in popular culture in general. So he was never going to beat Mayweather in a million years. He's not anywhere even remotely close to the level of Floyd Mayweather in a boxing ring. But at the end of the day, he was a major reason why that fight sold as many pay-per-views as it did. Because people want to watch Conor McGregor. So I know people get upset about this and they think that pay-per-views should always be between two fighters who are absolute cream of the crop, top of the tree. I understand that sentiment, but in the real world, it doesn't work like that. In the real world, Marcus Maidana is a hell of a lot better boxer than Conor McGregor. But he didn't get paid anywhere near what Conor McGregor got paid to fight Floyd Mayweather, did he? Okay, so it's not about how good you are, it's about how many people want to pay to watch you. That's what determines whether something's a pay-per-view or not. So it is what it is. I wish we could go back to a time where terrestrial boxing ruled the roost. You know, I grew up in the 80s and 90s when you saw a whole heap of top-level boxing on terrestrial TV, or network television as they call it in America, where you didn't have to pay a penny. So many of Mike Tyson's fights, when he was in his prime, were shown on ITV for free. You know, I remember staying up with my brother watching Bo Holyfield for free on ITV, the second fight. So, and you know, Nigel Benn versus Gerald McClellan, incredible fight. Obviously tragic ending, but incredible fight. 17 million viewers in the UK on ITV. So I would love a return to that. Unfortunately, we're not there. With DAZN looking to branch out into the UK, we might not have got free boxing, but there was the potential there to get very cheap boxing. I don't know what's going on with that. I know Eddie Hearn's been asked about this because with all the pay-per-views and what have you, you know, Eddie Hearn's been very vocal about pointing out how poor value for money, how little value for money you get in America with regards to boxing pay-per-views. They're like $75 plus most of the time. Whereas in the UK, it's £20, £25. Well, DAZN, even the deal they've been offering in America, you know, prior to all these restrictions coming in, where it was $20 a month and you get loads of boxing and pay-per-view level boxing, all that kind of stuff. That's much better value than what you get with Sky in the UK. So never mind comparing it to $75 pay-per-views in America, it's better than what you get with Sky. You know, so hopefully that can resume and we can get DAZN or whatever other service so we can get cheap pay-per-view level boxing back in this country. And as I say, ideally, I'd like to go back to terrestrial television where it was all on primetime, ITV, and you know, other mainstream television channels in the UK. But let me know what you guys think about Bob Arum's comments here below, whether you think he's right or wrong.